Hello dear viewers, myself Nasir and you're watching Mr. Zali's YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about respiration in plants. First of all, what is respiration? Respiration is breakdown of the carbon to hydrogen bond present in the food molecules. Step by step breakdown it is. Another respiration is taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide, that is also termed as breathing. Whereas utilization of food material is respiration, and that is involved glucose breakdown. So oxidation of food materials like breaking of carbon to carbon bonds of complex molecules within the cell to release energy for ATP synthesis is called cellular respiration. That carbon to carbon bond is present either in carbohydrates, either in proteins, or either in the lipids. So glucose combines with oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, it breaks down in the carbon dioxide as well as water, plus ATP is formed. This energy is used for absorption, transport of food or either an individual, movement, reproduction, breathing, etc. This all requires energy, and this energy comes from the breakdown of the food material. So that is some sort of information. Like next we are going to discuss about ultimate source of food that is required is photosynthesis. Means to say, in plants the sole energy dependence is on the photosynthesis process. Plants have chlorophyll which is involved in the photosynthesis. Light energy comes from the sun, and in the presence of in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight, plants prepare glucose plus oxygen plus water. So this glucose produced is used by cells to produce ATP. ATP is used by muscles or other cells to perform their normal functions or daily to daily functions. So that is how utilization is done. And next is compounds that are oxidized during respiration are called respiratory substrates. Substrates means to say which are utilized in the process of energy breakdown. And for example, carbohydrate most common is found and is also broken down. Proteins are also broken down. Fats as well as organic acid is also used in the metabolism. So that was some sort of chemical energy and electrical energy conversion, sunlight energy conversion into other forms, various other forms. The energy released is not used directly but is used to synthesize ATP. Means to say, the energy coming from the breakdown of proteins, carbohydrates or lipids etc. is not used directly. First of all, it is converted into ATP. Then ATP is utilized by some cells of the body like muscles, and each and every organelle, each and every cell functions by taking energy from the ATP. When energy is needed, ATP is broken down. Hence ATP acts as energy currency of the cell, and it is also known as powerhouse of the cell, mitochondria, which provides ATP, and that ATP is met all the requirements of the normal body functioning. For respiration, plants get oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, that is termed as breathing. Breathing and respiration are not synonymous, they are different terms. So respiration occurs from stomata, lenticels and cuticle. These are three types of transpiration in the plants. So that breathing in plants, gas exchange occurs via stomata and lenticels as well as cuticle. So these are also termed as stomatal transpiration, lenticular transpiration and cuticular transpiration. Why plants need no specialized respiratory organs? Each plant part takes care of its own gases exchange needs. So gas transport is very limited in the plants. It is not well defined as in animals. It is limited in plants. Gas exchange is very low as compared to animals because their functioning is also limited. Their movements are not so complicated as animals have. Leaves are adapted for maximum gas exchange during photosynthesis. During this, oxygen is released within the cell. While the case is different during night time. Because nighttime there is no photosynthesis occurring, so oxygen is not produced. So plants get oxygen from their environment. That is why sitting or lying under the tree during night may be harmful for a person. Most living cells have contact with air. They are located closest to the plant surface. In stems, living cells are organized in thin layers beneath the bark. They also have lenticels. Lenticels have certain pores. Dead bark of a plant have certain pores on their skin. These pores are called as lenticels. In leaves, stem and roots, parenchyma cells are loosely packed that provides interconnected air spaces. Means to say one part is connected to the other part with the help of parenchyma cells. So that was some differentiating structures between breathing and respiration. So during breathing, what happens? Glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide plus water plus ATP. So complete combustion of glucose yields energy, most of which is given out as heat. So it means to say some of energy is lost in the form of heat and some is utilized. So glucose plus oxygen plus carbon dioxide plus water plus energy, that is wholesome. This energy is utilized to synthesize other molecules. Means to say that all energy is not present in the single form. That energy is present in various forms. These forms are also variable. So during the glucose catabolism, not all the liberated energy goes out as heat. Means to say not all energy is wasted as heat. Some is utilized. Glucose is oxidized in several small steps. Means to say is broken down in some small steps. It enables some steps to couple released energy to ATP synthesis. Means to say some energy is utilized in the production of ATP. During respiration, oxygen is utilized and carbon dioxide, water and energy are released. Certain organisms are adapted to anaerobic conditions. Means to say they don't need an oxygenic environment. They can live without the oxygen, such as facultative anaerobes. Others are obligate. Facultative can live with oxygen or without oxygen, whereas obligate always live without the oxygen. So these were some sort of examples related to these. Now we are going to look upon the glycolysis or breakdown of glucose pathway, EMP pathway. So glycolysis EMP pathway, glucose comes first of all and it is enters into the glycolysis cycle. It is broken down into pyruvate. It is a partial oxidation or breakdown of glucose to two molecules of pyruvic acid in the absence of oxygen. That is, in the absence of oxygen, that cycle is occurring in the cytosol of a cell. Oxygen present in the aerobic cellular respiration, whereas oxygen is not present, that is a fermentation process, in which if oxygen is not present, the products of the pyruvate will be ethanol or lactate, whereas if oxygen is present, the product of the pyruvate will be acetyl coenzyme A, which is a precursor for the citric acid cycle. So it occurs in cytoplasm of all living organisms. That is its major scheme. Its scheme was given by Gustav Ampeden, Otton Mascher and Parnas. So it is also known as EMP pathway due to the persons who suggested it. In anaerobes, it is the only process in respiration that is occurring in the anaerobes or bacterium. In plants, glucose is derived from sucrose, which is the end product of photosynthesis or main storage carbohydrates. Means to say sucrose is converted into glucose plus fructose in the presence of invertase enzyme. Sucrose is converted into glucose and fructose by enzyme, that is invertase. These two monosaccharides readily enter into glycolytic pathway.